I have no idea, but of course, yeah, I'm here. I'm Tridd. This is Dezachu, newly renamed after his shenanigans on the desk last game. So, Des, we'll get you a prediction now, so you can then flip it halfway through the series when it doesn't go your way. Is this a Mosaic game or a Young and Beautiful game?
My heart really wants to say Young and Beautiful because I'm dying for them to cause another upset and just completely throw Group B under the bridge and just go, whatever happens down there, we have no idea because it's going crazy. Realistically, Mosaic, I'm expecting to take this one away. The one advantage I think Young and Beautiful have is they are crazy and erratic like the puppies were last week. If they catch Mosaic off guard, that's when it can really start looking dangerous for Mosaic.
Well, that's the thing for Mosaic. They have to make the plan, execute the plan, throw the plan away, and then realize that they're going to have to wing the rest of it. And if they can do that, then they shouldn't be caught off guard by this chaotic style that Young and Beautiful may bring to the fray when they lack that regimented mentality that Mosaic eSports might bring to the table.
The one thing I need to see from Young and Beautiful this week to give me any kind of conviction or belief in what they're going to be doing is for both Dempsey and BenBest to come up big. There was a lot of talk about Danny last week about being this new prodigy chunk player in EU, but then you look at like BenBest, still new to the team, got a bit of a period of adaptation to go through. We appreciate that. Dempsey was probably the quietest of all the DPSs in Contenders last week. We didn't see a huge amount out of him. This week, I need to see him come up big alongside Spox, who played very well last week, if they're going to pull this off. Jaws already said, Ding, great Zenyatta player. If they can pull these pieces of the puzzle together and make it work, it can look beautiful. But they've got to make that happen. Right now, it's young and average, you might say.
Yeah, young and average is a fairly apt description of this team at the moment, but we've got plenty more Overwatch action over the coming weeks to then maybe step into their namesake. Ding on that Zenyatta. I'm glad you highlighted that. I want to see Kodak later on in the series jump onto his Zenyatta as we have those robot wars spawning on the map. But we are going to kick off the action on the Parliament Shrine. Is going to be our first round, and already Mosaic eSports, Valotaya, he's straight up in the face of the enemy. But the rest of Mosaic are the ones who are actually on the point.
I think Young and Beautiful need to be wary of being too afraid here of Mosaic. You know you're coming up against some big names on the enemy team. Christopher, of course, one of the bigger names that we've all spoke about a lot in the past. If you can come up and just get in their face and just say, we are here to fight, that is when you start getting some conviction and belief behind yourself.
Well, they're already diving onto the back line at the moment. Lucio going very low, so Gustav having to kite backwards, but Dempsey opens up a kill onto Christopher. And Emil, without that mech, going to start shooting the pistol, getting those kills. Ding finds Valutaya, so he's already popping off. And Young and Beautiful get that first capture.
Brilliant handling of the aggression there for Young and Beautiful. They just said, fine, you guys want to come to us, you come to us. You play our game then. And we spoke about it last week, I think, actually, when we saw Mosaic coming up against Bazooka Puppies. It's trying to force your way into the back. You're using all the cooldowns on the mobility. It doesn't give you much more to chase if you don't start securing kills on that initial engage, which gave all the time for Young and Beautiful. As we saw Dempsey getting in the back and bringing down the Reinhardt with the Tracer, they had all the edge available to them there to be able to win that fight out. So well played and well managed by Young and Beautiful.
Well, he's already got the Frisbee to throw out. That Pulse Bomb is in his pocket for Dempsey, so he needs to find the right time to use it. Ding's got the Transcendence as well, so he starts to go south for Young and Beautiful. They can bask in harmony and get themselves all healed up. Nearly got the hack on the Christopher. He might not need it in the end as Danny gets the booster kill onto Fisher. Dempsey finds Christopher yet again, and Emil returns to kill onto BenBest. Now Dempsey's in the face of D.Va. Hasn't got the D-Mech quite yet, but he's getting very low. A lot of attention coming out from Denia to back him away, so a nice disengaged support. Transcendence should soak up that self-destruct sequence, and now Spox is there kiting him back. He's got an EMP ready to go.
Oh, Mosaic, you've got to be feeling slightly worried already. This is the second and third fight they're starting to lose in a row here. Can they win this one, Tridd?
Yeah, boost of momentum with the Amp It Up to get him onto the point. There's the hack to shut it all down. Fisher, he's got a Dragon Blade. He can't use it though. Coalescence trying to come out. He wasn't in the range of the EMP as Christopher takes down BenBest. Sitting on the Dragon Blade. Now's the time to go. Can he get onto Gustav? The second slash will seal the deal. Ding gets the D-Mech onto Emil. Now he's taken down by the Dragon Blade, so Fisher's done his job perfectly, but he's hacked. He's locked down onto the ground, but there's no follow-up damage to finish him off. And now Valotaya drawing attention onto Dempsey. Nearly gets the D-Mech onto Danny as well, but they're trying to get this point back so hard. Pulse Bomb thrown out. It's going to miss, and everyone jumps away. There's finally getting that D-Mech. He's on the back of the D.Va, wants to shut down the mini one. Immediately gets support from Fisher to help shut it down, and he gets the kill yet again onto Spox's.
The whole delay coming through from Young and Beautiful here is incredible. They've managed to reinforce until all the supports are back. Gustav is here once again. That was a great block onto this ultimate.
Yeah, Earth Shatter not going to land. It might be enough for Mosaic here as Valotaya is still cleaning up. Dempsey gets the D-Mech onto Emil, and Mosaic eSports finally get the capture, but they stop it at 99%.
Really impressive stuff. Young and Beautiful managing to reinforce this fight. They don't even need to back off. This fight carried on the whole time. They lost 4 members. They've all come back. They've won the fight. Mosaic are flailing Tridd.
They're throwing bodies at the point. Ding gets a meal when he's out of the mech. Fisher so close to that Dragon Blade yet again. Going to deflect a few shots, but he's only got such a small HP pool to play with as Dempsey will get that securing kill. Now it's back to Young and Beautiful on that 99%. It's really squeaky bum time here for Mosaic. They need to get onto the point. Overtime ticking down. No one's in range. Going to use the self-destruct. It's inside the bubble, but no one's on the point because they back out. Young and Beautiful take round 1 of the pile.
I should go with my heart more often.
You should do. Follow your dreams.
I do. But I did that last time. It didn't work out so well. But Young and Beautiful giving me some renewed faith there. I've got to say, Dempsey was the guy I said. He was the guy I called out the most last week and maybe was a bit harsh to. Today, he is stepping up. The Tracer playing that round. Sublime stuff so far. Admittedly, Spox has been very quiet, but when you've got Dempsey popping off like that, there is no concern at all. Both supports as well. Ding especially. Jaws touched on the desk, playing incredibly well.
Well, this is the thing about the Tracer Sombra combination. We saw it last week. Sombra just sets Tracer up so much to be able to dance around these players who have been immobilized by that hack and they have their shields removed, their defensive abilities removed. Such a strong combination. They're going to mix it up with Spox's going on to the Genji this time. Can they coordinate their dives well enough to shut down this composition from Mosaic?
Yeah, Spox's hacks were very, very big last time around, I felt, especially onto Fisher, for example. Last week, Fisher was a little bit outclassed, it felt, when he came up against Danye when they were playing against each other on things like the Pharah. Today, he's being kept quiet by Spox. You're as used to Simon in some cases. Here comes another fight. Yeah,
clashing on the stairs, as we'd expect. Looking to get control of that high ground before they translocate onto the point. But Emil, Denia, they're getting the kills at the moment, and the D-Mex. Now they're transitioning onto the point. Denia again with another kill onto his opposing man, Gustav, as Emil gets the rocket booster kill onto Spox's.
Much cleaner. That's what we expected to see from Mosaic first time round, as forcing their way, and Fisher almost getting popped out there as well, looking to keep himself alive. Well, that could have been a very unfortunate stagger. But Kodak again, he's stuck to Moira on both points so far. Here comes the Coalescence.
Yeah, Coalescence to blast through everyone at the moment. They're all trapped in this corner. It's very condensed Overwatch at the moment. Still being kept very fine. No one's going to kill just there. Nice deflect from Fisher to take out Gustav. And Valataya, he's now shutting down Dempsey on this Tracer. Self-destruct available. It's going to be at the choke to the entrance. You can't get out of that one, Dean. Doesn't matter how good you are. And now they're holding this aggressive positioning. They want to shut Young and Beautiful out altogether.
This is more of what I expected to see from Mosaic. They've got 4 ultimates on side now. Young and Beautiful starting to stockpile some of their own. They've nearly got the 2 big tank ults online. We've already seen earlier on what happened between in the last series was what Winston can do when he gets his ultimate on this point. Of course, a lot of area for environmental kills to come through. Let's see what Bembest can do with it.
Sound barrier to open it up. There's a stick, but it's not going to even get through the shield. Dragonblade coming out from Spox's. They're all trapped, very confined, but he's been disengaged. Fisher, he's got one of his own. Spox's finds 2 kills. Christopher, make that 3 onto Valataya. But Fisher, no answer just yet. He's going to keep it in his pocket. He's no point in going in with 8 HP, because I think Young and Beautiful, they're going to get a retake here.
So smart plays coming out of both about Fisher and Emil there off of Mosaic eSports. The pair of them just said, right, no point wasting ultimates here. No point trying to force a fight that we arguably are not going to win here. Most impressive thing for Young and Beautiful, they only used 3 ultimates. Ding's Transcendence early on to block all the aggression coming through from Mosaic, and then you had the other 2 come through from Spox and Bembest. We already said the impact and return that you get off that Winston ult. It secured a kill, no environmental kills, but it sets Spox up.
Fisher's making the mistake of trying to deflect lightning yet again, and as it expires, Ding will get the kill, but Dempsey finds the 2 supports, and then Valataya as well. They're having back and forth trades. Young and Beautiful, they're taking the fight to Mosaic yet again.
Worrying stuff for Mosaic. Admittedly, they held it for a good 60% earlier on. Young and Beautiful were the ones struggling to get onto. Sanctum isn't the easiest retake in the world, especially when the enemy team is holding. It's basically pushing you straight back towards the outside of the map, because that is such a thin bottleneck to try and force your way through. And once again, here comes the engage.
Dragonblade being used, so who's it diving onto? Spox's takes out Fisher. No chance of an answer from him. He's been sitting on the Dragonblade for so long. Valataya going to take down Spox's, and Christopher, he's pummeling around the small building. Can't get the kill. Can't even get much of a displacement as Dempsey finds Valataya again, and Danny having a bit of a tank war, takes him down, and Bembest, finally this guy's working with the team and showing up, and he takes down Denia to finish it all off. Mosaic eSports pushed back time and time again.
Unfortunate for Christopher, because he actually jumped onto the pulse bomb and immediately took 400 damage just as he came out of his ult as well. So not the best decision making by him there. Very, very scrappy kind of fights opening up all around the edges, but I've got to say, Young and Beautiful looking very good right now.
I think this is a massive change in play from Dempsey. I think that having Dempsey really pop off is making all the difference for Young and Beautiful here. He's been able to answer someone like a veteran player like Valentine on this Tracer, and it's working so well for Young and Beautiful because they can keep up with the damage. Now Mosaic going to force through this choke yet again. Immediate dive in from Ben Best. It forces Fisher back. He's been in this situation before. Can he change? What happens? Will it be a repeat of last time? He's got the Dragon Blade. Has to dodge out of the Pulse Bomb. Still hasn't found a kill, but it's Emil with the big bang coming out onto Ben Best. Danny shuts down Fisher eventually under an underwhelming Dragon Blade. And Dempsey from the side going to jump off because Mosaic, they captured the point, and Young and Beautiful going to have to reset.
They go for the reset, but the big thing in that fight was that Fisher had his ultimate, Spox did not. He's got it available now as he got it towards the later stage of this fight, but again, why use the ultimates if the fight is already basically lost? Big thing here is they're coming back in with 2 defensive ultimates and that blade. Danny equally, he used his ultimate in that fight and now almost has it available again. Recharge time on that is crazy, and once he's got that available, expect the big push in.
Interest rates are high, so it's not the time to save these ult Spoxes. He's going to blow it straight away. Can't find a target just yet. Dashes forward onto Kodak. Nothing to keep him alive.
Nice.
Finds Fisher. He was just asking for it, jumping in front of that blade. And now Emil going to expose himself. A couple of options to take him out. Dempsey, he's going to be the one to finish it off. And now Mosaic eSports throwing bodies at the line. They know it's 99% to 99%. Dempsey yet again finding all those kills. Going to secure it. This is a bit of deja vu as Young and Beautiful, they're going to take this point because there's nothing that Mosaic eSports can do.
They can at least try. Good delay coming through from Valentine here, gives the team time to return.
Well, Fisher, he's going to get good stuff. Spox has shut down Valentine. It's still in control, Young and Beautiful. But Kodak, he's actually found a pick onto this. This might be a turnaround for Mosaic eSports. Self-destruct is available for Danny to really stall this out even longer as Christopher, using that Primal Rage, going to do the exact same thing. Bomb falls into the bubble. No one's on the point. Christopher so close, but the outcome was still the same.
We literally saw this happen in the Overwatch League the other day where Hydration on Lucio threw himself onto the point and everyone was like, why suicide into a Diva Bomb? It's literally to stop that happening, stepping off the point and just giving it away for nothing. Sometimes you have to make calls like that. A bit of a mistake by Christopher there. I'd rather he stayed on the point just to give the rest of his team time to support afterwards. But in this case, Young and Beautiful, taking the first map. That's a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely, but just to go back to that point, Des, you can jump onto the point, but you got to remember, the longer overtime goes, the quicker it's going to decline. So even if Christopher jumped in there and then immediately died, it still may have expired and might not have bought enough time for Mosaic to come back into it. But Young and Beautiful, fantastic first showing on these control maps. Is this starting to be a weakness for Mosaic on this archetype of map?
Somewhat, I want to say, but not entirely. Because it's so early on still, we're not obviously 100% sure how this one's going to turn out for Mosaic. A bit scrappy there, I think, got caught up by Dempsey on the Tracer massively, and that guy really stepped up. He was the defining factor of these fights for me, big time.
I couldn't agree more with you, Des. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if Young and Beautiful can keep up the tempo and possibly take a few more maps off of Mosaic. We're back ready for map 2. Young and Beautiful already 1-0 up in this series. And Des, we could cook a nice batch of chili with the pressure both these teams are under right now. Mosaic eSports, underwhelming performance last week against Bazooka Puppies. They expected a win there. Are they going to get upset again? But then again, Young and Beautiful, they had 0 maps before this series, and they really need to show that they can contend. They've done that so far. Can they continue the trend moving later on to this series?
You might be able to cook a chill into these two teams with the pressure, but I think under Mosaic it is going to come out burnt and overcut, because that's how it's feeling for these guys at the moment. It's a very, very rough situation to be in when you're coming up against an unsigned team last week, an unsigned team this week, and so far both of them are showing you up. Last week was very close. Let's not take that away from them. And also this started out the same way. It was a 2-0 last week that came through against them when they faced off against... God, I forgot the team name already, aren't I? Great. Wasn't August they played against?
Bazooka Puppies.
Dave, and you're getting it wrong, see?
Yeah, there we go. Anyway,
Puppies did them over last week, and it's the same story here. They recovered on the next 2 maps, so realistically, this should be the kind of map that they come back on and show us what they're made of.
Well, they performed exceedingly well on Numbani. I believe they took the win off of Bazooka Puppies, if you followed the trend of the map. So this is one of the maps I feel they can perform on. They like this. They can put Valataya on this Roadhog and shut down a lot of options. We saw it work wonders against Danye. Is there going to be that particular pick that just gets shut down by Valataya's Roadhog on the point A offense?
Well, Valataya's Roadhog is something I've been very excited to see. It's one of the things he's been hyped for. Saw it a little bit last week. Now is once again the time to bring it out. In fact, they pulled off a very good defense on this map, let's not forget. They will be the ones defending first, so I expect them to go for the same kind of thing as last week. Go for the triple tank, which was just to deal with any Pharah threats. It was Fisher last week who played the Sombra. And we saw Danye having to stay up very high because once he got too low to the ground, a bird without wings cannot fly, unfortunately, and is pretty much a sitting duck.
Because they're running that triple tank composition, Mosaic eSports, they obviously like to run the Lucio, the Moira as the healing combination, so they're going to keep that up at the moment. Denio and Kodak, very competent on those support heroes in the previous series. I'd like to see him keep it up. I think we're going to see Ding still keep on that Zenyatta for now, as he doesn't really need to change on the side of Young and Beautiful.
I think when he's playing as well as he is, there is literally no reason to say play something else. If someone is having a stellar game, don't tell them to change, just let them keep on doing what they're doing. Again, onus is always on the losers to be the ones that adapt to what the winners are doing, unless you are convinced that there is something that works better in what you're going for. For these guys, play really well, would like to see them stick to the same kind of thing.
Because they don't have that long-range DPS option, that long-range Ana support option, they're going to be playing around this choke point on the top right, holding that confined space. It's going to play wonders into the tanks, but when Spoxes is running that Junkrat, it could actually blow up in their faces.
Well, let's see what Dempsey goes for here as well. He worked wonders on the last map. Now he's got a bit of a different pick. Not the Tracer, going for the Sombra instead. Not going to be able to do too much with that SMG from all the way over here, unfortunately, friend.
Especially against these tanky units as well, unless he gets some picks. But he's just going to pepper them with damage, build up that ult charge. He's got Invisible. He's looking for a hack onto someone. Who's going to be the target? It might want to be Christopher, but no, he's gone for Valataya. He's going to shut down the healing, shut down the hook. He's going to return up to that location as Young and Beautiful. They're going to keep holding this high ground. It's perfect for Spoxes to start raining damage down.
This is exactly the same setup we saw from them last week. Mosaic just sit at the back of the point with an entryway backwards in towards the stairs if they want to. Young and Beautiful trying to get behind them and force them out here as well. A hack onto the Reinhardt could be crucial.
Yeah, no more shield for Christopher. He's very vulnerable right now. The healing needs to come out from Kodak and Denia.
EMP.
No one's dropped just yet, but the EMP could be the trigger that sets this off as Emil takes down Spoxes and is tired. Denia's going to help him out. Fisher with the D-Mech. Gustav reses that Junkrat. They need that damage, but Emil takes out Danny as well. So he's been doing all the legwork for Mosaic at the moment, while this Death Ball is just holding on to the points.
Yeah, time to back away, and rightly so here. It was very easy for Dempsey to jump in and pop the EMP there, but once he's already saw the case where Spoxes went down, why would you want to blow one of those ultimates? Keep hold of it and go and push again. Let's not forget, last week, it took about 3.5 minutes for the Puppies to adapt and change up what they were trying to do. They switched meta over onto the Junkrat, and it worked out for them then. Spox, in this case, I imagine, saw that and think, well, clearly that is the kind of key to break through them. Let's try and copy the same sort of thing and see if we can push through. As of yet, it hasn't worked.
That was an unfortunate translocator for Dempsey. He hit the sign and ended up back where he's standing. But he's in the position he needs to be now as Fisher takes down Ding. It's so easy for a Sombra to do this. And they're going to keep on fighting over this high ground at the moment as the rest of Mosaic's going to peel back onto the point. You've got Valataya on the high ground. There's an EMP to kick things off. They're going to return it with one of their own. And they're capturing the point. Dempsey on the point at the moment, trying to whittle him down. Christopher gets the Flame Strike kill onto Ben Best. The Transcendence going to keep everyone alive, but he's going to get the knockback from the Shockwave. Gets him back off the point. Nice disruption with the concussion mine from Spoxes to separate the fight out. It's not going to change the outcome though, because Christopher takes down Dempsey. Emil goes straight to Spoxes. They don't want any more of those explosives, and Gustav knows the fight is over, so he goes for the reset.
We spoke a lot about the coaches for Mosaic and saying that they will have a strategy lined out for each map, maybe even 2 or 3 if you want to be that prepared. Whatever strategy this is, we can kind of see it working out consistently. No matter what they seem to pick, everything seems to work in their favor, as it might be. Fisher on the Sombra again, a couple of times. I've kind of seen him getting in the backline once more, but it's always been Dempsey I've been watching it and saying, well, actually, his Sombra is the one causing the pain in the side here, the thorn in their side, you might say. For the most part, Fisher been pretty quiet, and I like that Dempsey has actually switched over here as well and gone onto the Tracer because he had such a good showing on it last time.
There's an Earth Shatter straight down onto Ben Best. Can the healing sustain him? No, it cannot, as Valatire will take him out. Spoxes, he changed one displacement hero for another with the Farah. A little bit of Danye Vu coming out for Young and Beautiful at the moment, as Emil will sort him out.
Well, Young and Beautiful have tried switching things up, not really working out for them so far. They do have ultimates to play with, both tank ults are online available for them. Ding is about to get his Transcendence as well. So if they want to brute force their way into the point with that, they can try and go for it, but so far it hasn't paid off. Mosaic looking pretty good. Numbani, definitely one of their stronger maps so far.
Fisher, he has no reason to change off this Sombra. Nearly got that EMP again. It's going to shut down a lot of options for Young and Beautiful when they go for this penultimate push, depending on how long it goes on for. So Spoxes in the air, getting the damage boost. There's a self-destruct going into the pack. A little bit of disruption from Ben Best with the Primal Rage, but it doesn't open up a window for the bomb to deal the damage. Spoxes, he's got a nice position here. If he can just get that ult charge, maybe he can burn through the sound barrier and the Coalescence. Can he hold it off? There's the barrage. Straight on top. Can he get a kill? Finds Denio at the moment. Grab doesn't come out from Valatire, but the shrapnel shot will do the trick. Fisher with the EMP to shut it all down. Danny got no movement options. Here's Ben Best to reinforce them as Fisher takes down Dempsey. Danny going to handle with Christopher. A resurrection onto Spoxes. That extra damage could be the difference maker for this point for Young and Beautiful. Ben Best finds Kodak, finds Fisher. Spoxes with the D-Mech and Ding with the follow-up. Spoxes shuts down Denio, and somehow Young and Beautiful take this point.
Mosaic must be screaming deja vu to themselves right now because it was the same story last week for the Puppies. It took them 3.5 minutes to crack through the defense, pushing them into overtime, and then winning it off one crucial ultimate. They've got to be thinking to themselves, this is scary. If this goes out the same way as last series, we're going in for a 5-game series in that way.
Could well lead to that down the line, Des, but let's focus on the here and now. Valatire with that whole hog. He's going to have a disengage, kill the momentum of Young and Beautiful. They haven't got any ultimates in their pocket beyond that. In fact, no one has. As Emil goes incredibly low from some burst, Ben Best going to return back to the team. And they're all going to occupy themselves in the house, play around this corner, try and force the terrain from Spoxes, but that verticality is starting to prove difficult for Mosaic to keep up with as he's got another barrage. This is all combined, fires it straight into the house. Fisher is the recipient of the barrage, and Christopher gets placed back into the firing line. He'll drop down. Valatire having his entire whole hog disrupted by the Matrix, still getting peppered with rockets. They need an answer for Spoxes, and it's just not coming out for Mosaic.
Valatire was the answer last week to Danye. This week, he's missed a couple of those hooks that really would have changed the outcome of these fights. Admittedly, that last ult from Spox there in the doorway, no way Valatire could have stopped him. What I really like about what Young and Beautiful have realized about this comp from Mosaic is the only time it is strong is when the Reinhardt's shield is up. Once that's gone down, Mosaic have to fully back out. Emil cannot do enough with the defense matrix to stop them just piling in and wiping them out.
In the past as well, you had that Sombra to take away the shield, but now they're just brute forcing it instead. They think that that's a better option for them, and it clearly is based on the performance after they switched. Now we're fighting on it. Christopher gets a pulse bomb. Dempsey will take him out nice and cleanly. Emil goes up into the air with the self-destruct. Gonna force them all to scatter. Doesn't find the kill. There's a Kodak moment for you. They're gonna get barraged by the barrage itself. As Spoxes only finds Denia, but it's enough to put Mosaic back yet again. A couple of rockets onto Emil. Fisher's going to go down. Ding actually finding those kills, and now it's being stalled out by Valatire.
Mosaic, you're hurting my heart, my friends. We've already said a few times about these guys. It's about the adaptability and the flexibility that other teams are showing that is starting to win them out games. But for these guys, they are swearing by this lineup. They have not mixed anything out. Where is the answer to Spox here? Where's a Widowmaker? Where's a Soldier in best case scenario as well? We're not seeing it happen. They're sticking on this Sombra, and to be honest with you, yes, there's been a few good ults, but it isn't winning them this game.
They're messing up stage 3. They're not throwing out the plan and expecting it to go wrong. Where's the adaptability? But they're going to keep on with this point anyway. There's a double pulse bomb from Dempsey. They get the D-Mech and a kill onto Denia. Spoxes finds Valatire yet again. After that point A hold, nothing has stopped them as the Earth Shatter will get blocked out by a bubble. Hack from Fisher should ground Ben Best for a while, but he's still a high HP monkey, beating everyone to a pulp, and it's Kodak and Christopher are going to suffer for it as Mosaic eSports maybe have their final resistance coming out of this spawn room.
Their first point defense was so good, but since then they have not changed anything up, and it's really starting to cost, and they've got one chance to hold the back.
Sound barrier being popped as Valatire finds Ding, the Coalescence going right around. There's Spoxes with the barrage, finds Emil, but will get the beam of light to his face to blind him and shut him down. Ben Best with the Goomba Stomp onto Kodak. Dempsey finds Denia and Christopher at the same time. There's the EMP, doesn't really work out for them, and Young and Beautiful full complete Numbani.
Impressive stuff. Mosaic, hell, like I say, holding that first point incredibly well, but can't working out as planned. It kind of feels though they haven't really planned past that first point. Maybe they just thought, there is no break in this comp, we will always be able to hold first point, because that was a lot of flailing and a lot of worrisome signs coming out of Mosaic for me. Young and Beautiful, though, to their full credit, they switched things up themselves. They said to Dempsey, right, this isn't working out with the Sombra, let's get back over to what worked for us last map. Again, the onus is on the loser to change. And Spox on the Pharah, ultimates generally across that whole round were pretty good. We've seen Valatire last week have some really good control over Darnier, but Spox finding some really smart positions, using it at the appropriate time when that hook was on cooldown, meant there was no contest coming through.
Let's have a look at what Mosaic are going to run on their offense a little bit down the line. Let's have a look what Young and Beautiful want to do for their defense. Looking like they're going to stick with a 2-2-2 composition. They've got the hyper-mobile tanks available for them, and Danny and Ben Best. Ding, still no reason to change from that. Zenyatta, he's had a cracking game so far. Why mix it up? And Dempsey, same logic applies to his Tracer. He's been phenomenal. Pulse bombs, picks, harassment. This guy can do it all.
It's really surprising because when you look at the game from last week, they got rolled over by Naga and Poppy Fresh for the most part. Spox showed some signs of life and kind of kept Naga quiet at points, but otherwise, they literally did just get rolled through. Dempsey played a lot of McCree. Today, I've seen none of it, and there is a vast improvement. Now, I'm not saying his McCree is terrible, but his Tracer is definitely on the kind of level that you need to be able to compete for top of the table in Contenders.
Now we can have a look at Mosaic's composition. They're going to run the triple tank again, I believe, with Fisher on this Sombra. It does work well for them, but they just don't adapt when it starts to go sour. So if they come out the gate, hit Young and Beautiful hard, and get that quick first capture like we know they can do, it might secure them the first point in a rapid time and give them plenty going forward to deal with it. But a nice chunk of damage onto the rest of them. They're already getting barraged by Spox's rockets. Yeah, he just hit them all out the gate. I don't think Mosaic were prepared for it. 55. And he's still there. 65%, and they've not even made it to the point yet. Spox is going to have that barrage so quick. It's what he can do with it. It's going to be the deciding factor. And Ben Best, he's just going to light them straight away. Finds Fisher, has the barrage available. They're on the point at the moment, trying to force the defensive-offensive switch. It's just not working out. Young and Beautiful, they're getting the picks. Dempsey's going to finish up. Ben Best as well. They've completely shut down Mosaic, and they're going to catch them as they go for the reset.
22 seconds to get that far at ultimate. A few well-placed rockets into a team like Mosaic that grouped together. In fact, I recall us specifically saying against the Puppies, when they were playing on Ilios, first point on Ruins, all we saw was the Puppies scatter around them, just go, right, split up guys, don't engage them as a unit, because all Mosaic want to do is group of 6 and push as a death ball. I'm very worried that there is no other versatility from this team just yet, but Young and Beautiful have adapted to it perfectly.
They've got a nice answering Kodak with the Coalescence to shut down that barrage when Spoxes goes for it, because they're playing in a death ball.
Oh, there it is
straight at the top. They've gone under the bridge. They're using terrain to block it out, moving into the house. But Denia, he's in hot pursuit. He gets the kill onto Christopher, and they've lost that Coalescence. And here we go. It's just clean up again for Young and Beautiful. It doesn't matter what Mosaic do. It seems that they have their number every time. Fisher going to translocate. He's just stalling at the moment, which isn't really efficient when you've just been wiped.
Mosaic are very much so an all-or-nothing team. They go all in, so try and win the fight. If they don't win the fight, they back off and they try again. I'm very concerned. I've said this several times already. It's very one-dimensional play. You cannot afford to be one-dimensional when so many teams, especially these unsigned ones that are still a bit raw around the edges, are so willing to try different things on the off chance it works.
So at the moment, these guys haven't changed composition from defense and offense, and it's being shut down at the moment. Spox is still in the sky. Nearly got that ultimate yet again. There's the Coalescence being used to try and sustain everyone, take out a few high-priority targets. No one's gone down just yet. There's a Transcendence from Ding. Going to keep everyone alive. Barrage at the front door. Christopher got to bring. There's the shutdown from Fisher we're looking for. They've grounded Spoxes, but no one's finishing off. The barrage will knock him down. Emil's bomb will make sure it seals the deal. There's a Valkyrie being popped by Gustav. He might be able to get the resurrection if he can buy some time. Pulse bomb onto Valatire, and Denia will take them out right away. And there's the resurrection we were looking for. Spox is back in the fight, going to take to the skies. EMP will ground him again. Fisher timed that perfectly, and he gets the kill onto Spoxes. Mosaic seem to have broken this choke. They just need to get a couple more kills to seal the deal, as the Coalescence going to start winding through them. Danny on the point by himself, going to whittle him down. He's got a Diva running at him. somehow gets out with a sliver of health, and the fight's going to keep continuing.
Perfect time for Danny to back off there because he can now rejoin on full health with the Mercy in support. They're starting to pick up kills here, Tridd. They are actually wiping out this attack from Mosaic.
Self-destruct ready. They forced Mosaic back. Didn't even get one segment of the pie. And A is going to completely reset to 0 with 1 minute on the clock. This is looking like how Mosaic played defense. They shut it all down to the last second. The difference maker being, can Mosaic pull it out in the end like Young and Beautiful did?
It's very interesting that Young and Beautiful have themselves stuck to the same comp they had on their attack last time round. They've gone for the same thing, and you can see why. The range advantage that they have with this pick in particular works wonders for them. And Dempsey, when they're grouping so well together, the pulse bombs are so impactful.
Every push, he has that barrage available. He wants to get in point blank range. Fisher is translocated. Coalescence trying to sustain, trying to damage. Ben Best, he's the one who finds Denia. They're trying to get through this door. They don't even need to use the barrage. Everyone's being pummeled away. They're going for a quick reset. They want one more push out of this. They may get it with 18 seconds left, but it's going to be such a messy offense for Mosaic.
Yeah, Gustav's ult is down here. They've only got Fisher and Emils to play with, and they've got to come up against Spock. So using that self-destruct can be a huge risk. You lose the defense matrix, that can cost you big time when Spock's, if Spock's this is, gets a good ultimate.
Well, someone needs to touch that point. It's being contested at the moment. You've got Valatire on the Tracer now. Christopher on that Winston just for the mobility. Self-destruct goes into the air. Clears out Ben Best and Gustav. That could be the difference maker at the moment as Fisher finds Ding as well. Valatire snipes Spox out of the sky. Looks like Mosaic, they're going to do exactly what Young and Beautiful did to them. Struggle until the end and pull it out when it matters.
Very, very close. Again, running it down to the wire. Like you say, it's an exact mirror of last round. Now the question is, what changes do we see coming through? Spox immediately goes over to the Genji. He's going to mix things up. I want to see Mosaic do the same. Thank you. Fisher picking up the Genji. This is the kind of team-wide potential they need. Sombra is not really going to give you that because you rely far too much on your 3 tanks to do the work. They've even put Valatire across onto the Tracer. So back to a more kind of standard comp. Something that we know they're very, very good with this kind of triple tank setup. It is time to try and switch things up here and go for a big aggressive push because you've got to force this down to 44 seconds or better to match Young and Beautiful. We
were touting Mosaic as a better 2-2-2 team despite the strength of their tanks. As Dempsey going to take out Kodak on this Tracer, so it's nice to see his performance hasn't slipped at the moment. Danny finds Christopher yet again, dashes from Spox's. It doesn't matter about the adaptations coming out from Mosaic. They're still getting shut down by Young and Beautiful.
There's a good bomb eat there from Emil, actually blocking out what could have been a very easy triple kill for Dempsey. So at least giving them some, I suppose, some hope. Eating a bomb can be quite motivational. That's
it can be, but
it's the kind of time where you scream down your mic, like, guys, I got it, block the ult, and then you still lose the fight anyway, right?
That's a bit of an appetizer, but they're looking for the main course at the moment. Is Young and Beautiful. They're looking to find dessert and provide a tip to that waiter as well, as Ben Best finds Kodak, and they're still leading this aggressive charge, holding Mosaic at their spawn, unable to break out. Ding with the 2 kills. Ben Best answers it, and Ding with the 3rd. Yet again, this guy is literally a machine.
I think at this point, Jaws will have set up a shrine on the desk and is praying to it now. God bless Ding. The plays this guy is bringing out, the kills he's securing for his team. Alongside Dempsey, Young and Beautiful as a unit, I've got to say, have come together ridiculously well. Spox has got the ultimate, Ding has got his as well for the defense. They've got all the tools they need, and the Transcendence has come out early.
Yeah, Transcendence being out early, it's huge for Spox as he can wait for this to expire, then pop the Dragon Blade, but Fisher's going in early with his own as Valatire and Emil find it. Denia shuts down Dempsey, Christopher onto Danny. Spox is by himself, so when it all matters, Mosaic, they keep going beyond, they keep breaking their limits and pushing it out when it comes down to the wire.
Going plus ultra, as you said last week. Ding has got the ultimate, though. He did not use it in that fight. Would have been very easy to pop it and just gone, guys, we need to stay alive in this fight. They've conceded the fight and gone, right, okay, we've held them here as a full hold at the start of the 2nd point for a long time. Let's let them push a bit. We've got our ultimates on side. They've used the majority of theirs. They do have the 2 tank ults available, but you're looking now at Spox to pull off a big one.
Yeah, Spox is with that Dragon Blade. 10 seconds remaining. They're going to stall it out. Premature Transcendence leading the charge for Spox to cut through. Christopher finds Kodak as well, who's finally on that Zenyatta. And now they have to kill out the rest of Mosaic. Trying to get those kills at the moment. Valatire with the Pulse Bomb, bringing a little bit of balance to the force at the moment, but Ben Best and the rest of Young and Beautiful should be able to hold this out. Fisher on the kill onto Dani. Gustav takes out Lucio. The DJ is going head-to-head in the sound battle as Dempsey finds Fisher again, and it's just all about Christopher. He'll finally go down. No one's in range at the moment. Young and Beautiful go 2-0 in this series against Mosaic.
There are going to be a lot of questions to ask of Mosaic after this performance because nothing is working the way that they want it to. They come into it defensively, I completely understand. Triple tank, works pretty well for them. Once that falls apart, you've got to mix things up. But the problem is, they mix things up just there, and it still didn't work out for them. Something is still not quite clicking with this team, and they've got to get it sorted soon. We are 2 out of 5 weeks in. If they lose this series today, they are in hot water and at serious risk of not making the top 4.
But what a performance for Young and Beautiful. Finally, they've shown that they deserve to be here. Trials isn't enough to prove your place anymore if you're just getting wrecked by everyone, and being able to take some map wins finally, get themselves on the board, potentially with a win. They're 1 map away from taking a series and getting a win in that column. We've said enough about this game, though. We need to hear from analysts and see if Jaws has actually got that Shrine to Ding set up already. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you all the action from this series.